Okay, hello. This is a little bit of a quick tutorial on how I design my real monsters. Well, not really design my real monsters, but how I render the monsters. So this design is for ADHD/ADD, and here we started with the design that I'd already sketched out. So I just bring a sketch into Photoshop. I make a new layer over the sketch, and then I start with my line work. And I use a sort of gritty, inky brush to give the illusion of sort of replicate real life ink and that sort of texture on the paper. So I just trace over my sketch and refine the shapes. This ADHD monster is, the design was very much helped with by my friend Fabugu. I'll put a link down below. And it's kind of based on a hummingbird with a bit of influences from a jester, and there's just lots of kind of details going on, lots of shapes and edges and movement going on, and you'll see when I get to the colour stage there's a lot of colour going on. This was me looking at my previous designs to see how many designs had tails, because it's something that I like drawing tails on things. But yeah, just keep going around tracing. I try to vary up my line width to create, elements that are softer and then harsher and define the shapes. So then we had a bit of a time. I lost a bit of time in the stream, but what I basically do to start with color is I use the magic wand tool to select the background, the negative space, and then I go to select, expand it by 1, and then invert, and then a layer below the line work I fill it with colour, and then I lock the transparency, and then I just go in with the colours. I go in with the flat colours first, like the basic kind of the base colour, and then I go in with some gradients and add some kind of lighting, as well as just varying up the colour a little bit here and there. Which you can see here. It's not very clear to see, but you can kind of see in some, like in the bits with the feet, you can see that very clearly gradiented. So yeah, the flat colours go on there, and that's on the same layer as the colour. And then I make there I'm blending in a little bit with the smudge tool. Then I make a layer above the colour. Oh, here I'm actually doing some extra design elements. These are some eyes on the wings to further create kind of like a attention grabbing, distracting kind of vibe. And here was some just on another layer above the colours, just adding in some splashes to further create a kind of just a really busy design, playing around with how those worked. Then on a separate layer above the colour but below the line work, on a multiply layer, I set the the layer style to multiply. I use a colour to add some shading. My lighting is kind of all over the place, and I use it to help define shapes more than anything, but there is an overall idea of where the light's coming from. So this was a bluish colour that I used, and I do go in later and change some of the colour of the shading. I lock the transparency and use the gradient tool to make it a little bit different coloured. Then I do the same with lighting, like the highlights. I go on an overlay layer above the multiply but below the line work, and add some highlights, and then with the gradient I do the same and add some kind of overall lighting with a lighter colour and a darker colour on overlay. So that's kind of the finished design for ADHD. And then we had an idea on stream to kind of create this 3D effect that would further enhance that kind of busy haziness that is associated with ADHD. And we played around a lot with this. It started to make my eyes hurt because it was just so just crazy to look at. Got some followers, but yeah, just playing around with this, and I liked the way that this is. The colours at the moment are very muted. I really loved how that looked, and it was really, really hazy and difficult to look at, but it turned out that it was very difficult to transfer that onto the final image because of the way the layers were set up. So I tried to replicate it my own way, and we lost some of that cool monochromeness, but I think in the end the design it kind of sticks true to the original colours, but still has that 3D effect. I won't go into how the 3D effect was made. It was very simple. You can look it up on Google easily. But yeah, it's pretty much the final design for ADHD. Again, big shout out to Fabugu for helping me with this. I think this plays out a little bit longer, and I shall come back in a second. Oh, here is adding some noise to kind of still get that kind of staticky kind of CRTV TV kind of vibe. And here we go. Here are the 4 monsters from the first half of Volume 3. So I wanted to put them together into a little image to add onto Twitter and stuff. I just thought I'd add this in so you can see some of the monsters. We have on the left, we have autism, then we have postpartum depression, then nightmare disorder, and then lastly ADHD. Although I messed up the order here. There we go. And then we have a bit of a bonus after the stream. I was still in the groove to draw, so we sketched up an idea for psychosis, which you shall see in shortly. Yep. I am very good at words. There's me looking for something. I should edit this out really, but yes, here is some sketching of psychosis. We had an idea, we kind of came up with it on stream, that it was kind of this puppet master, very creepy, sort of inspired by the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth, I think that's what it's called. And then in the design, the sort of colouring phase, Fabu, my friend Fabugu, helped sort of just suggested using yellow, and then that helped me come up with the idea of basing the design on the King in Yellow, which is a literary character. Also in the Cthulhu mythos he appears. So I sort of expanded upon that. And that is it really. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry this has been all over the place, but hopefully it's given you a bit of an idea of how I work on my real monsters, and I hopefully will do more. So yes, thank you very much. I will see you soon, I guess.